I've had this question asked of me before, and I've had this question asked of me by myself. That sounds weird, but there's been several moments I've sat by a fire with an adult beverage and kind of asked myself, man, do I deserve to live again? Like, what gives me the right to forgive myself after such an atrocity and a moral failure like infidelity? What gives me the right to live again, to laugh again? And so I want to talk to you, the unfaithful. If you're a betrayed, this will give you some perspective and some insight and maybe even help you encourage your unfaithful. If you're an unfaithful, I hope that this meets you right where you're at. And I just hope it helps you. I don't know where you're at, I don't know what you're doing, but I do hope that this encourages you and gives you some fire inside of you to get up and face what you are being confronted with and live again. You see, it's okay to live again if you're an unfaithful. Your betrayed may not feel that way. They may feel like you should die. And it's understandable. Absolutely. Samantha hated me early on. Absolutely did. Did she want me to die? Probably, but the only reason she maybe didn't want me to die was because of the kids, right? She was so full of anger, so full of rage, and rightly so. Of course she wanted me to die. Did she want to kill me? At some level, probably, but obviously being compassionate for the fact that we had 3 kids. But if you're an unfaithful, it is okay to get up and live again. In fact, you have to. One of the best things that you can do is get up and start to live again. Go to work, do your job, take care of your family. Allow them to set boundaries and guidelines on what you can and cannot do, and embrace them. To love anyone is to love their boundaries. So if they, the betrayed, are setting boundaries, embrace them, love them. Sure, it may require legal action depending upon where you're at. You may need to use attorneys to draw some boundaries. Absolutely. But if you love your betrayed, you will love their boundaries and you will learn to embrace them, hopefully just temporarily. But if you want to win their love and their trust back, embrace them. Make them standards that you will respect, even though you do not like them, and rejoice at them. Respect them. Your shame is actually not humility. Shame says, I am something bad. Guilt says, I've done something bad. If you continue to not live, if you continue to wallow, if you continue to feel sorry for yourself and just lay down and just want to die and refuse to live again, you're going to find that things get worse. One of the most manly, one of the most womanly, one of the most warrior-like things that you can do is get up and actually start to live. It doesn't mean that you pretend that nothing ever happened. It means that you start to take care of yourself and you start to do what you need to do to get healthy. Number 2 is, I would caution you as you are getting back up to live by reverence. Here's what I mean by that. There's a reverence towards Samantha's journey. There's just some things I'll never joke about. I've joked about them in the past and been a complete ass of myself, or made a complete ass of myself. And I learned that. It only took a couple of times. So while you're living again, there has to be a great compassion, but a great reverence for what your betrayed is dealing with. From the perspective of going to watch movies, you better vet that movie and find out what that movie's about before you subject your betrayed to a situation that they don't need to be reminded of. To where you go, to the places that you spend your time, to being aware of their journey, their reminders and their triggers. There's just some things that I will not joke or even talk haphazardly about with Samantha. Additionally, number 3 is learning how to forgive myself. Now, forgiveness is giving up all hope of having a better past. I cannot hope for a better past. I have to accept my past. I cannot run from it. I cannot unhinge it like a trailer. I can't cut it out of my life. I'm aware of it. I embrace it. I know what I am capable of, but I can forgive myself for what I've done. Forgiveness is also choosing to live with the consequences of my own choices. I can forgive myself by embracing my consequences and not constantly fighting them, but embracing them and saying, you know what, I'm going to be okay, even though I have to embrace this consequence. I can also understand that all those choices I made when I was doing the things that I was doing, when I was active in that 2-year affair, that was not my best self. Okay? If you come from faith, you can say that was sin. However, you cannot say that that was not you. You did it. I was involved in it. But that was not the best me. I was feeding the worst of me. It was the worst of me that was operating like a human wrecking ball, destroying things left and right. Sure, it may have looked like I was the man and successful and changing lives and all that, but behind the scenes where it really mattered, I was a human wrecking ball, and that was not my best self. Helping myself live again is understanding I never want to feed that beast again. I never want to feed the wrecking ball. I want to feed the goodness, the grace, the best of my life, the best self that I can cultivate. One of the best ways to live again is to feed your best self and understand your triggers and your temptation and understand what causes you to want to be that wrecking ball and staying away from it, staying as far away as possible. Next is understanding, maybe even itemizing, maybe even putting in an Excel spreadsheet, the things that you can no longer tolerate in your life anymore. It may be a type of music. It may be pornography. It may be soft porn. It may be types of movies or videos or what have you. It may be going to certain places. It may be certain guys or certain girls that you shouldn't be around anymore. You have to begin to confront yourself. You have to begin to be accountable to both yourself and other safe people. But there needs to be a list of things that you are no longer going to tolerate about yourself. That you're no longer going to tolerate about who you have been. That you can say, I don't want to feed this beast anymore, and these behaviors feed the beast, and so I've got to cut these behaviors out. Living again is also about being a safe person for yourself and a safe person for your significant other. It's about safety. And safety is a gift that you give not just yourself so that there can be wholeness, so that you're not living a double life and that you get back into that self-hatred again, but wholeness is also about being safe for your partner or your spouse and using your own safety as a gift, as a way to make them feel whole, as a way to make them feel safe and feel loved and feel cared for, and that you are self-aware. As you create safety in your own life, it speaks to the fact that you are self-aware and you want to make your betrayed feel loved, cared for, prioritized. My final thought for you is, this gets really tough. The betrayed may not be on board with you living again, and that's normal. Okay? You can't hold that against them because they're the victim of your choices. And so it is okay to have this unique valley of, well, wait a minute, Samuel, I'm trying to live again. I'm trying to get back up, but my betrayed constantly wants me to just put my face in the dirt and just lay down and die. Why wouldn't they feel that way? Okay? If it's early on, why wouldn't they feel that way? It doesn't mean that you have to, but I think one of the best things that you could do is understand why they want that. And that doesn't mean that you can't live again. It means that you have to get up and be compassionate and be humble and embrace the consequences while slowly but surely the lights may come on in their brain and in their heart and in their mind where they may be willing to extend forgiveness to you. But here's what I will tell you. No matter how long it takes or whatever length of time that you're able to tolerate, and that's different for everyone, if they don't choose to get help or very much help, and they don't choose to change a lot, maybe they just change a little in terms of how they see you, maybe they still are stuck, how committed are you? How dedicated are you? Are you going to stick with it? I know you may say, Samuel, I don't know if I can live like this for the rest of my life. Well, okay, it's another video blog. I'm talking about right now. Choosing to live again is actually healthy when you embrace the consequences of your actions. And that's a unique journey with the betrayed. But listen, if they start to see the fruit of humility and patience and kindness and the fact that you are not getting defensive and not responding in the same manner that you used to respond for years or decades, there will come safety. There will come eventual grace. You will begin to see their treatment of you change because they are seeing you change. There better not ever be this, get over it, move on. That's not living again. That's actually staying the same, and that's actually hurting your progress. One of the healthiest things that you can do is find new verbiage, find new love, find new care for them. Find a level of patience that comes from a compassionate understanding that they are in this position because of what you have done.